Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're mapping out the exact sequence you need to follow to get your Alabama learner's permit. We're going to take what can sometimes feel like a confusing, bureaucratic process and turn it into a super clear, easy-to-follow roadmap. Okay, before we get into the rules, close your eyes for a sec. Imagine setting off on your very first solo drive down a peaceful Alabama street. The sun's setting in your rearview mirror, your absolute favorite song is blasting on the radio, and the road, it's entirely yours. Talk about the ultimate feeling of independence, right? But that incredible freedom, it literally all starts right here with earning your learner's permit. Make no mistake, this permit is an absolute necessity, and I'm going to show you exactly how to get it without breaking a sweat. So, here's our roadmap. 1. Prerequisites and eligibility. 2. Paperwork and fees. 3. Acing the tests. 4. GDL rules and restrictions. And 5. Logging your practice. Let's jump right in. All right, Section 1, Prerequisites and Eligibility, your first steps. To kick things off, you've got to be at least 15 years old to legally apply for that permit. But wait, there's a really fascinating catch here called Taylor's Law. You might think your driving record only starts the moment you sit in a car. Actually, no. Under Alabama law, your behavior in school directly impacts when you can legally drive. If you rack up school disciplinary points for things like in-school or out-of-school suspensions, starting all the way back from age 13, it can literally push back your permit eligibility by up to a full year. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, or ALEA, tracks this strictly. So staying out of trouble in school is quite literally your very first step to driving. Moving right along to Section 2, Paperwork and Fees, also known as the bureaucracy. Let's figure out exactly what documents you need to gather for your local ALEA or DMV office, because trust me, nobody wants to make that frustrating trip back home to grab a forgotten piece of paper. Here is your master checklist. First up, you need a certified U.S. birth certificate issued by the Bureau of Vital Statistics. And listen, they are super strict about this. Absolutely no photocopies allowed. It has to be the real deal. You'll also need your social security card and 2 proofs of your principal residence, like a utility bill or a bank statement in a parent's name. Oh, and you cannot forget Form DL1/93. That form is absolutely crucial because it proves your school enrollment or graduation, which is mandatory in Alabama for any first-time applicant under 19. Now, let's talk money. You are going to need exactly $41.25 on test day. That breaks down into a $5 testing fee and then $36.25 to actually buy the physical license once you pass. And here's a massive pro tip for you. ALEA does not accept checks for this. 0. You can pay cash, or if you use a credit card like MasterCard, Visa, or Discover, just a heads up that a 4% convenience fee will apply. All right, Section 3, Acing the tests, knowledge, and vision. So you've got your documents, your school record is squeaky clean, and you have your cash in hand. It's go time. You'll need to pass both a written knowledge test and a vision exam. Let's break down the written knowledge test first. And honestly, this should totally build your confidence. It's just 30 multiple choice questions. You only need to get 24 right to hit that 80% passing score. And take note of the time limit. You've got 18 minutes. For test day advice, time management is key. But really, don't panic. Just take a deep breath, stay calm, and read every single answer before you click one. If you've spent time with the Alabama Driver Manual, 18 minutes is way more than enough time. Let's actually look at a real sample question straight from the manual to help you prep. It asks, on an unpaved road in Alabama with no posted speed limit sign, what is the maximum legal speed? Think about it. Is it 25, 30, 35, or 45 miles per hour? If you guessed 35 miles per hour, you nailed it. Questions exactly like this one, along with stuff on violation points, child restraint laws, and headlight usage, that's exactly what they're going to throw at you. Your absolute best bet, read the official manual cover to cover and hit up reputable online practice tests. Identify your weak spots and just keep taking them until you're consistently cruising past that 80% mark. You're also going to take a vision test right there at the office counter. The standard requirements are 20/40 visual acuity or better in each eye, and a standard field of vision of 110 degrees. Simple enough. If you need glasses or contacts to pass, no big deal. You'll just get a restriction code on your permit saying you got to wear them while driving. And what's really cool is Alabama has a specialized pathway for folks with severe visual deficits who use a bioptic telescopic lens, which actually allows them to earn restricted daylight-only driving privileges. Section 4, GDL rules and restrictions, the reality check. So boom, you passed. Huge congratulations. But getting that permit means you are now officially adhering to Alabama's Graduated Driver License, or GDL, rules. It's a system that phases your driving privileges in step by step, keeping you safe while you learn the ropes. You are going to get very familiar with ALEA forms like the DL31. This is the exact piece of paper where your parent or legal guardian officially signs off granting permission for you to enter the GDL system. Later on, they use this same form to verify your behind-the-wheel practice. So yeah, parental involvement is a massive part of this whole shebang. So your Stage I permit comes with what is known as a Y restriction on your license. This is critical. It means you can literally never drive alone. You must always be accompanied by a licensed driver who is at least 21 years old or a certified driving instructor. And no, they can't be snoozing in the backseat. That supervising driver has to be sitting in the front passenger seat wide awake right beside you. The permit is valid for 4 years, though, so you have plenty of time to get your practice in. There are really strict boundaries to the entire GDL law, and they're built entirely around keeping you safe as you build up experience and inch closer to getting your restricted Stage 2 license at age 16. It's incredibly important to take these boundaries seriously, because trust me, the penalties for ignoring them are severe. Just looking ahead to that Stage 2 restricted license for a second, breaking the rules is no joke. If you drive past the midnight to 6 a.m. curfew without a valid exception, or if you cram in more than one non-family passenger, or, and this is a big one, if you touch a handheld phone while driving, you're looking at steep consequences. Fines range from $150 up to $350, plus court costs. And worse, violations will result in an extension of your restricted period or even a full-blown suspension of your license. Safety is definitely not optional here. Which brings us to Section 5, logging your practice, the final step. Now, for the most important and honestly the most fun part of the journey, actually getting behind the wheel and racking up that real-world experience. Alabama law requires you to fill out this specific document, the 50-hour driving log. You literally have to track 50 hours of guided practice with your parent or guardian. To really get the most out of this, I highly recommend creating an actual practice schedule rather than just driving aimlessly. Even better, seriously consider enrolling in a formal driver education course. Not only do you get pro instruction, but it builds these incredible defensive driving habits that will literally protect you for the rest of your life. Oh, and remember, you can't just cruise around on beautiful sunny afternoons. Exactly 16 of those 50 practice hours absolutely must be logged after sunset. Night driving introduces a whole different beast. You've got headlight glare, lower visibility, totally different traffic flows. Conquering all of that under the supervision of an adult is how you actually become truly confident and road ready. Before we wrap this up, just a quick disclaimer. The information, fees, and rules we've covered are completely accurate as of today, but you know how state laws are. They're always subject to change. Always double-check the latest forms, fees, and requirements with your local ALEA office, or just hit up alea.gov before you head in to take your test. Getting that permit is a huge milestone. It is quite literally the key to the ignition of your independence. But at the end of the day, the responsibility that comes with it is entirely on your shoulders. You've got 50 hours of practice ahead of you. How are you going to make every single one of those hours count so that when you finally take that first solo drive into the sunset, you're as safe and prepared as you can possibly be? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. And hey, happy driving.